All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. I want to personally thank you for coming aboard on my most recent video, where we're going to take a look at the top 10 most unbelievably valuable Jefferson nickels to have sold on heritage auctions. Now, if this particular video or a similar video seems very familiar to you, it probably is, because I had done a similar video to this about a year ago, where it was the top 10 most valuable Lincoln cents that also sold on heritage auctions, and it's gone really well. Like, it exploded out of nowhere here in the last few months. So when I saw it kind of drop into my analytics as being like a top performing video, I'm like, shoot, well, I haven't followed it up with another video of that type in over a year. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and entertain you with the top 10 most valuable nickels to have sold. Now, I did kind of throw out a little bit of a qualification, a pre-qual, so to speak, to this video, because Heritage has been selling coins for a really long time. On the actual the auction client that they use, they've done it for well in excess of 15 years, all right? But they've been actually selling on the platform coming up on like 20, 21 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. But some of the recorded sales actually go all the way back to like 2002, 2003. And, you know, to kind of stay in the spirit of actual modern pricing, I've elected to go back as far as 10 years of auction data for heritage auctions. I didn't want to go any older than that because it's not a true representation of how much the coins would sell for today. So that's what I did. And the coins, you know, again, are either graded by PCGS or NGC. Oftentimes, these big auction companies won't sell coins unless they're appropriately graded. And the auction companies will actually kind of go to bat for you and send them off to the graders themselves, as long as they know they have a coin that's going to be worth consigning. So just a few things to kind of consider before we dive into this list, but you guys know me. I don't do just a top 10 list of anything. I throw in a honorable mention. And sure enough, we got one right here in this video for you. So we're going to take a dive to one of the most popularly collected series in U.S. coinage. You're going to kind of figure out what makes this an incredibly passionate type of series to collect into, because people certainly do have deep pockets, and you got to know why people are paying tens of thousands of dollars for these nickels, out of all things. Altogether, we have realized sales totaling in excess of $274,000. If that's not enough to get your juices flowing, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see what we got here. Of course, we got to start out with that honorable mention. And with all the coins, I will be letting you guys know where they sit in the population figures. Maybe that'll give you a little bit better insight as to why they sell for the amount of money they did. All right, so we're going to talk about one of the tougher dates out there to find with a full strike, and that's going to be the 1951p Jefferson nickel. All right, this is a Philadelphia struck coin. The coin that's sold on heritage auctions is actually one that comes way as a PCGS Mid-State 67, and it does have FS on there. All right, just an amazing, beautifully clean coin. A date that you don't commonly see with full steps or enough luster to give it some of the accolades it needs to be a trophy for some of the finest Jefferson nickel registries out there today. Now, the coin that you see here is a Pop 5, which means there's 5 total graded by PCGS as a Mid-State 67 full stepper. There are none finer. So we're not going to see a 67 plus or a 68 out there. This is the top of the mark. This is the coin that everybody strives to own for the big time registry sets. This particular coin right here ended up selling for $16,450, and that was sold on February 27th of 2014. I would imagine that a coin like this would be worth a lot more today, considering the overall numismatics market is a lot bigger and brighter than it was 8 years ago. So yeah, if anything, this coin might be underpriced, but for this video, it is our honorable mention for this particular top 10. So yeah, we're going to dive right into the actual top 10 coins. Here's the number 10. 1964. All right, this is a SMS coin. SMS is kind of a folklore type of issue because it's reported and rumored that about 20 to 50 total SMS sets were actually released. Now, why do these even exist? Well, as you guys know, from 65 to 67, the U.S. Mint didn't create or produce any sort of proof sets. They did special mint sets. The 64 SMS sets were all created to test out the SMS, the quality, the overall texturing of the coins after the strike. So they made a number of them for each one of the denominations, just to kind of, there were more trial strikes than anything else. But this one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 68 full stepper. It shows SMS right on the label. This coin right here ended up selling for $17,625, and that was on June 9th, 2016. Now, there is another coin just like it that sold, and it's going to be further on down the list. This is the one coin that I actually wanted to put on here twice to show you the market data of the same coin between two different time periods. And the time periods are rather close, but you can see the volatility of such rarities like this as they make their way into the marketplace. All right, so we're jumping into the number 9 coin on the list, and this is actually a variety. So there's going to be a few varieties, but there's going to be no errors. Varieties are produced in quantity. All right, it could be 500 of them, could be 1,000, could be 10,000. But we do know it is a general part of the series itself. They're not necessary in a registry set, like just a regular kind of like date set. But the purists, they'll want the FS assigned coins. These are going to be the cherry picker's guide types. So this is the 64 D over D RPM. It's also noted as being FS 501 in the cherry picker's guide. And this one has the distinction of grading out as a mid-state 66. As far as pop numbers, it's a pop 2 in this grade with none finer. So apparently it's a very tough coin to find in high grades. And seeing as how probably this one was never released into mid sets, this one right here is going to be one that you're going to have to try and find right out of circulation. And that's a tall task for such a coin. This one right here ended up selling for $19,800. And that was on July 14th, 2022. Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. And this all of a sudden made it right directly into a top 10 list, of one of the bigger auction houses. And kind of hard to believe, considering that they've sold hundreds of other Jefferson nickels that probably could have been a better fit for the list. But we got to throw this one in there. It's a pretty notable one, and a repunch mint mark to boot. So make sure you're looking out for those nickels, especially the FS 501. If you think you have a coin that grades as high as this, that's a fortune waiting to happen. All right, how about number 8 coin? Number Ocho is going to be one of my favorite varieties in U.S. coins altogether. 1939 doubled Monti. This one is an absolute beastly, very pretty coin. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 67 with full steps, but this one has the strongest doubling that you will find on just about any nickel from the Jefferson style, I guess, generation. Now, 67 full steps is not an easy grade to get. It sure isn't. Oftentimes, this particular variety will be well cherry-picked into oblivion to the point that actually finding a 39 that would grade out as a 67 full steps is going to be more of a unicorn than actually more of lottery odds. I think you would have much better odds trying to win Powerball or Mega Millions than you are trying to find this coin in a 67. Turns out that there were only 5 graded in its totality as a 67 full steps, with none finer. So there are no 67 pluses, no 68s, none of that stuff. This coin ended up selling for $20,562.50 back in February 4th of 2016. So that's a six-year-old coin right there. I could only imagine that this one would be worth a little bit more today in this market. All right, number 7 coin on the list is one that probably you guys are shaking your head and just absolutely probably talking to yourself. Why is this coin even on the list? But it is indeed a 1962 Jefferson nickel. This is just a prohibitively tough date to find in full steps. There are a few of them that are the case. The 69, 69D and S, the 68 mint mark coins as well, among just a myriad of different 1950s dates and some of those early 60s as well, are all quite the show if you're trying to cherry pick these. You're going to have to go through BU rolls, of course. That's going to be your best bet with identifying and trying to find any of these. This one just so happens to be a Mint State 67 plus full steps. This is a pretty high bar to set for anyone trying to find a coin that'll grade out as good as this, if not finer. This one is indeed the single finest graded by PCGS. So it's a pop one and it's a top pop as well. This coin sold for $21,150 August 9th, 2013. Again, take into consideration the market today in 2022. This coin would probably be worth about double than what it sold for back 9 years ago. As a matter of fact, this is the oldest coin on the list. We don't have anything that's 10 years old. Sorry. Number 6 coin is this one right here. Sorry, that's my dog barking, but yeah, even he agrees with favor to this coin, which I think has some pretty toning. I like toning that's very subdued on a coin, and it's like not in your face. This one certainly fits the bill. PCGS Mint State 68 full steps, and you'll notice it says reverse of 1940. This is a reverse design type that utilizes the more modern looking engraved Monticello on there. So the lines on the steps are going to be straighter, whereas the other reverse type is going to have wavy steps. Beautiful coin, again, with the toning on there. It's a pop 8, so it's the highest graded specimen, 0 finer. There are no other coins graded higher than a 68 full steps. This one right here sold for $23,500, and that was on February 27th, 2014. Again, you could almost imagine the market adjustment. This coin would probably be worth anywhere from 20 to 30% higher with the 2022 adjustment for the inflation and collectability for such a coin. All right, we are officially halfway through the list. How about number 5 here? We have another beauty and another rarity. 1953S is one of those big-time chase dates, and they just don't pop up as frequently as you want them to. As a matter of fact, this would be a coin that confidently I could say probably shows up in the market between 3 and 5 years. That's how scarce they are. This one right here is a Mint State 65 full steps. Again, it's a coin that has the distinction of being very weakly struck, if not very mushy, giving it kind of like that dye deterioration look, which is kind of the case on most 53Ss. This one right here is a pop 6 with 4 finer. All right, so it's not even the top pop. I believe there's 2 65 pluses and 2 that grade 66. And this one right here is sold for $24,000. It's not that old of a sale either. It was on January 10th, 2019 is when this one finally sold. Another rare one. Be on the lookout for these. If you do come across BU rolls, you never know. It's something that'll pop up when you least expect it. All right, number 4, we have another favorite of mine, variety-wise. It's a 1942 RPM. This is the D over horizontal D. This is probably a top 5 variety within the Jefferson nickel series, and probably a top 5 variety in 20th century varieties in general because it's scarce and it looks cool. But this one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 66 full steps. So where does this one actually rank? All right, so it's a pop 5 in the 66. There is one specimen that graded out finer with full steps as a 66 plus. So there is that one. Now, this particular sale is a little bit older. It's about 6 years old. This one sold February 4th of 2016 to the tune of $31,725. Again, another very, very prohibitively rare variety. When you put it in tandem with the actual grade value, boy, it's pretty insane. So if you guys are actively pursuing and chasing these D over horizontal D varieties at a high grade level, best of luck. It's going to be a chase that could take years. All right, number 3. Number 3 right here is again another favorite variety of mine. We have our one and only over mint mark. That's come in the way of a 1949 D over S. Talk about a beauty here. This is a PCGS Mid-State 67 full stepper. Now, again, some of the premier varieties within the series are going to command all the attention in the world if it's combined with a equally stunningly high grade. This is the single finest known of this coin. Only one is graded. It is the top pop of the 49D over S. The coin ended up selling for $32,900 way back in the day of January 5th, 2014, when people just don't know any better. I'm willing to bet that the owner of this coin is probably doing cartwheels right now because it's easily worth a huge margin more than what this one was originally paid for. So bravo, great looking coin, and one that I would probably hold on to very tightly. All right, we are at our top 2. How about number 2 coin right here is going to be the other special mint set coin, the 64. This one, same grade, I believe, as a SP68 full stepper. And yeah, the coin, again, it was only produced in small quantities as kind of a trial piece. This one right here at the time was, I don't know if it's the Provenance, the Steve Strom collection, or maybe if it was just the finest at the time. This one right here ended up selling for $32,900. It's a Pop 7 in full steps with none finer. All right, so it's a very exclusive coin. Again, sold back in 2016. And finally, the coin where you guys probably are, again, going to be shaking your head like, I can't believe this coin is number 1 through Heritage Auctions, but it's going to be a 1938D out of all dates, right? It's like, where's the 39D? Where's the 50D? While those are key dates, they are widely available in mid-state and full steps, all right, which makes them kind of less special altogether. But when you have these kind of dates like this one here, where you just don't see enough of them in the open market with full steps and a high grade, that's where they become a little bit more of a target, especially when they have toning, much like this one. So yeah, it's a 68 plus full steps. This is just a huge trophy piece for any Jefferson nickel registry, and you know, it's gonna stay in there till the end of time. All right, till that person decides I don't have much longer to live on this world of mine, and I have to get rid of my nickel collection. Maybe I'll just be buried with it. I don't know. You just never know. It's not the strangest thing I've heard, but when someone has assembled the finest group of nickels at the highest grade level, and they all look like this, I mean, how can you part with it, right? If you don't need the money, obviously, but, you know, just rest assured, these type of coins will be worth a king's ransom for many years, decades, centuries to come. This one right here, no doubt about it, single finest, Pop 1, top pop coin, none finer, and it's the only one graded in the 68 plus. sold for $33,600 July 15th of 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you heard that right. This one sold 2 weeks ago here on Heritage Auctions listings. But yeah, pretty cool. Very, very cool group of coins. About time that I followed up the Lincoln cent version with the nickel version. Yeah, who would have thought that nickels would have so much value? All right, I'm sure there's more than a fair share of you that are probably thinking, wow, I got to look at nickels more often. And I agree. I should do the same, if and only if they were more easily accessible and not at a wildly expensive price, which those times have come and gone pretty quickly. But that's it, guys. I'm Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you again for tuning in and joining me on another fantastic video where we look at the top 10 Jefferson nickels that have sold on Heritage Auctions. All images, of course, courtesy of Heritage Auctions. They get all the credit for that as usual. But that's going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead and check out Heritage if you're looking to buy into some big trophy coins for your collection, or if you're looking to sell a few trophies of your own. They're a great place to consign with. But that's it. All right, you guys have fun with the hobby, and take care until next time. So long.